Welcome to the Best Self Podcast. There he is, CJ Beatty. He is locked, loaded, ready to rock, and life coach, business coach, baseball, softball. There is no lid to this ceiling, baby. He himself is just a bundle of inspiration. So excited to have you with us, buddy.
No worries, man. Thank you for the opportunity, and congrats on everything that you're doing thus far, man. It's beautiful. Bringing people together like this to be able to dots with faith and connect the dots with information to be able to positively change people's lives. I mean, that's why I raised my hand so quickly to do this, because I said that guy gets it, man. So I appreciate what you're doing.
Boom. I mean, is there any better feeling than adding value to other people's lives?
No, dude, no, it isn't. And people ask me all the time, they're like, dude, you can still play. Like I stopped playing baseball when I was 28. And it was like, dude, why'd you stop so early? You can still play. It's because I got the taste of adding value to people's lives. And it's crazy, and it gives me goosebumps to say this, but I quickly transferred all the energy into that, because that transition was easy. Because speaking life inside of people and adding values to lives is something that baseball could never give me. Baseball was self, but adding value was more purposeful. And once you taste that, there's no going back.
Adding life into people. So true, man. So I listened to you, and you've got so many good nuggets. You walk into a room full of anybody. Like, we got a lot, like, our audience is wide ranging here. We got high school kids, we got people that have retired, because really anybody can be a better version of themselves. So but you walk into a room full of people, and the first thing that you want to instill and pump into their veins, what's the first thing that you want to start getting your session going with? What does that look like for you?
One of the first things that just popped to my mind is I tell the audience to get out of their own way. Yeah. So many times you don't go the distance because of that person you see in the mirror.
Yeah.
So I like to open up a lot of my speakers with saying, you got to stop stopping you. Stop stopping you.
Right.
You got to get out of your own way.
Right. Totally.
And that sets the foundation for them to be more receptive to the information that's coming. Because once you get away from pointing your finger at, that's the reason why I'm not there, and he's the reason why I'm not there, and that situation is the reason why I'm not there, and just focus on that person that you see in the mirror, that's when things will start to change for you.
No doubt about it. Taking ownership. I find that a lot of people have a hard time getting comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime you're trying something new, it's not going to be comfortable. But without the friction and without the struggle and without embracing that, it's really hard to make any ground. When you're sitting in front of a kid, or you're in a business, a workplace, or you're sitting in front of people, are there any pointers you have for people on, just kind of getting them over that hump? Like, how do you convince someone that being uncomfortable is okay?
Well, the first thing that I tell, no matter what age, I tell them, hey, do you remember riding a bike? You remember learning how to ride a bike, right? When you first got on that bike without training wheels, you probably fell over. I'm serious. Nobody comes out of their parent. Nobody comes out of their mother knowing how to ride a bike. It's inevitable that when you get on it, you're going to fall to the left or fall to the right. But it's crazy that you were determined. Whether you were determined or somebody was there working with you, you stayed the course. You stayed with the process. You trusted it, and you continue to show up and continue to show up and continue to show up until you got it. And I use that as a reference, because once you started to ride that bike, once you learned how to swim, was that not a pinnacle point in your life that you were like, I feel like I can take on the world, because this thing that used to beat me up, now I've conquered it. So I want people to feel that it's just like riding a bike. Stick with it. Continue to grind through it. You're going to fall off, but if you continue to let it run its course, continue to get back up again, it's inevitable you will get better. And eventually you'll reach that goal and you'll say, I am deserving of it because I never quit.
Powerful, man. So true. Yeah, I talk about fear a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe fear is a learned behavior, and it kind of touches on the same thing that you're talking about. You think about when you're first learning how to walk, you fall down a million times, but you keep getting back up and you're not afraid to do that. And then somewhere along the line, you've got some sort of scarred deal internally where a lot of these people stop, in baseball, you're a baseball guy, and in baseball, a lot of guys are afraid to steal bases or read like a ball in dirt because they're afraid of getting thrown out. Or most guys in baseball, it's not that they can't throw strikes, but they're afraid to throw balls and, stuff like that. So anyway, that kind of made me think of that. A lot of the same stuff you're hitting up on there. You seem like you're a dude, you love stories of, it feels like you love stories of redemption.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have anything that you feel comfortable sharing from either you growing up in North Carolina, or you making your road through major or professional baseball, or just now doing what you do now? Are there any stories of redemption in there? Could be about you. It could be about a story of someone shared with you. Could be any of that.
Yeah, man. One of my favorite stories of redemption. It really, when I got released from the St. Louis Cardinals the first time, the only time, but when I first got released from the St. Louis Cardinals, that was my story of redemption. That was my road to redemption. And it wasn't that I was, negatively bitter or sour about the St. Louis Cardinals. I was more upset with the result. So I had to make a decision, and that's the key word in this. It was a decision I had to make. And that decision, as I'm driving back from West Palm Beach in spring training on the way back to North Carolina, I'm on the road 10 and a half hours, and I had to make a decision. Is whether I was going to go left and be like everybody else and blame and just say, I don't want to face that anymore. I'm done. I gave it my best shot. I don't want to go through that anymore. Or was I going to go right and fight for it? And I chose to fight. And that road to redemption led me into motivational speaking and led me into the type of person that I am today, because that I'm teaching that no matter what they say, that's not the end of your story. I could have allowed that moment with the St. Louis Cardinals releasing me back in the minor leagues to be the final period to my story. But I allowed that to be the period to a chapter.
Right.
So my road to redemption was, no matter what no matter what the stats may say, no matter what somebody that's close to you says, if you believe in it that much, if you want it that bad, then you got to go for you. Don't go for the approval of others. I knew deep down inside that I wanted another shot. And I was going to be willing to do whatever it took to get it. And that was my road to redemption.
Love it. And now you're living in a dream. Now you're living in a dream, man. You add value to people's lives every single day. Whereas, you were adding value to others as a professional athlete, but now you have the opportunity to touch millions of lives.
Yes.
Like in our day and age, whether you're speaking in front of people or on the net or on a platform like this, you have the opportunity with, right now at the time of this recording, we have 40 different countries tuning in. You have the opportunity to add value to 40 different countries right now. That's incredible.
Yes. And it's a blessing. It really is. It's a blessing. It's something I look forward to every single day. Look forward to opportunities like this, just to be able to get on here, tell my story, give my 2 cents on what worked for me, so somebody can say, whoa, I never did look at it that way. Let me try that. That's my job, is to be able to pique the interest, to be able to get that eyebrow to go up to say, whoa, let me try that. Let me think about that. Let me consider doing that, because it's as much as we, Brad, as much as we want to get people to get it the first time, we'll run ourselves nuts trying to make sure people get it the first time.
Right.
It's our job to just expose them to it, to continue
100%.
to stay consistent and expose them to it. And when they come around, then they'll be able to know where that source came from.
I love it. I love the word expose.
Mm-hmm.
Like I love, everyone's always trying to, we kind of mentioned struggle earlier, but everyone's trying to run away from that stuff. I have no problem with exposure to some of our issues, because there's strength and vulnerability, right?
Yes.
There's strength and friction. And man, if we go through a full day and we never get exposed once, I wouldn't say that's a wasted day, but that you probably weren't trying that hard. I mean, how did you go 24 hours and you didn't make one mistake or have one thought that wasn't,
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's true.
You have a list of things that require zero talent that you talk about, that I've seen you've post and whatnot.
Yeah.
I loved them. So we're gonna crush a handful of them, and then I'm gonna crush you to the curb and get you out of here.
All right.
Being on time.
Yes.
Why is that such a big deal? Being on time, because you might listen to someone like Allen Iverson. I'm guessing he won't be on the same page with being on time.
Yeah.
Why is being on time such a big deal to you?
I mean, it really shows your true character. I mean, it really does. It doesn't take any talent to be on time. It just shows. My grandmother always used to say, people are always on time for the things that they care about.
Yep.
I mean, it's true.
Yep.
I mean, if they truly cared about it, there will be no excuses holding them back.
Absolutely.
I understand things happen in life, and life happens where, it'll cause you to be late for some things. But when you're consistently labeled as a person that's not on time, that shows a coach, a scout, or anybody that you truly don't value their time or show any effort into what you're doing. It shows your character. I mean, if you're a person that continues to show up, shows me that this person doesn't truly care about what we have going on.
Right. No, I agree with you. I always say that being on time isn't on time. If you and I were going to meet up for the first time ever and we were meeting up at noon, I wouldn't show up at noon. I'd probably show up at 11:45. If you have an interview or anything, I mean, this, dudes that work, dudes that grind, in any professional capacity, at the office, in the gym, on the diamond, on the gridiron, whatever, dudes that grind aren't showing up on time. They're showing up really early.
They have to.
They're getting work in. And they're not doing it because they have to. They're doing it because they want to, right?
They want to. It's not a have to. And that's what I mean by it shows your true character.
Yeah.
It really does.
You also say that work ethic is such a big deal. And you kind of led into it. You said takes no special ability to be on time. I kind of say the same thing for work ethic. I mean, it takes no special ability to hustle. So I always tell a story. So as our listeners and I have a baseball background, and I once had a Division I coach. So for our listeners overseas, a Division I coach, that's like the pinnacle of amateur baseball in the United States. So a Division I baseball player that's like the next best thing to being a professional. And I had a Division I baseball coach call me on a Thursday, and there was a kid playing in a big game on Saturday morning at like 10 a.m. and wanted to know when he was playing, where he was playing. I gave him all the information. I met him there. The guy flew in just to see that one kid play, shows up at 9, leaves at 9:30. The game didn't start till 10. watched the kid for 30 minutes and decided he wanted no part of that guy. Just by the way he handled himself, the way he played catch, the way he did everything, his mannerisms, just watched him for 30 minutes, never saw him take a live rep in the game, decided he wanted no part of that. I always tell that story. You had energy. Tell us about energy. What does energy mean to you, hombre?
I mean, energy is everything, man. Energy is, even if you're a person that's to yourself, you can still bring a certain energy to the game. If you're a person, like if I'm a scout. So if I'm coming to the game and I see you're on the mound and you're going after it, you get a strikeout or you finally get out of the side, and then you come back, you hit that glove, and everybody's seeing you high-fiving everybody with energy. That's contagious.
Yes.
That right there doesn't take effort.
Right.
You know, that brings the team together. You don't have to be the unsung hero or leader, but that energy is contagious. We call them spark plugs. We call them, he's a person that brings that spark to my team.
Yes.
He gets on base. We're struggling to get a hit. That spark plug comes up and gets a base hit up the middle. As soon as he gets on base, he's like, boom, he's looking back to the dugout, letting everybody know, let's go. That's a spark plug, that energy.
Right.
It's something that doesn't take talent. It's just that heart and passion and him wanting to be the best person that he could be, the best teammate, brings out that energy.
Right. Love it. I call those guys culture shapers.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we want, so kind of, spinning away from athletics and into the business world, because the stuff that we're talking about here, being on time, energy, work ethic, effort, these kind of things, why don't more people hire with those kind of questions and those kind of things in mind? You see all these places that, colleges let you in based on your SAT scores, or, even, professional scouts in any sports. They're looking at these combines and seeing how fast dudes are and how high a dude can jump. And they're measuring all these different types of athletic skill sets, or just like I said, sitting across the table from another dude that we're trying to see if we want him in our company. Do you have a theory? Like, why don't more people take the stuff that we're talking about into account? Because this is the kind of stuff that makes an awesome culture. Like, people are going to want to roll out of bed and work in a place like that. People are going to want to play on a team like that. Do you have a theory? Like, why don't more people take this stuff into account?
I think that's the same question people ask, and why is there such thing as the 2%ers and 1%ers in life, and why is everybody else not? I mean, that's just the way life is. The ones that are doing it, the creams of the crop, the championship ball teams that win championships every year or find themselves in playoff contention every year, they have that DNA. That coach brings it. I think if it was that easy, everybody would have that. But it's really not. I mean, it's out there because it's embedded deeply inside of championship organizations, championship jobs, championship people that are winning the Fortune 500 battle. When you dive deep down inside of that, they have that cohesion. They have that atmosphere. They have that championship locker room atmosphere inside of their business. So I think it's there, but at the end of the day, it starts at the head of the snake. Yeah. And that comes to the board of directors, that comes from the CEO, that comes from the head coach, that comes from the coaching staff, that comes from the athletic director, hiring the right coaches. I mean, a lot of that stuff comes from that.
Yeah. Gold, man. So you talk about body language. Another, man, I read your list of things. Mm-hmm. I was like, dude, this guy and I better not ever be in Winston-Salem, because you may not get to go home to your family. I'm just going to lock you up and we're going to talk about this stuff forever. Body language. Body language is a big deal to you. Why?
I mean, because if I'm there, and like I said, I'm a scout, I might know who you are, Brad. I might be there because of a suggestion from a friend. Go watch Brad. Go watch Brad. So I finally go spend some time, take some time to go watch you play. You have one bad at bat, you strike out, or looking, and it was clearly a bad call, but you can't shake it. Body language is awful. You go into shortstop the next inning, and your body language is still terrible. You know, you're kicking the ball around. The body language is still bad. Yeah. I look in the dugout. Your body language is still bad. You're by yourself on the fence, not really cheering. That body language is really what's labeling you. And I understand that you got wronged by the umpire. I understand that wasn't your fault. But at the end of the day, real championship mentality has to know that you got to shake it and move on. Yeah. Body language can label you something that you're not. 100%. And if I only have one opportunity to scout you in a matter of an hour or 2 hours, I can only send back or compute what I saw. Yeah. I can't just put down, well, yeah, bad body language, but I know he's a great player. No, I have to go by what I saw. He showed pretty good promise, but he has some body language, some bad attitude issues. And if somebody says that about you, and then you're like, no, that's not me, I can only go off of what I saw. Yeah. So that's why I'm telling people that body language is very important. Learn how to shake it, work on it. And the thing about it is, so many people, literally, I think more than 60 to 70% of people don't choose to have a bad attitude. It's just that they're not aware of it. So when they say, hey, you have a bad attitude, the first thing they say is what? No, I don't. But it's all over their face. It's their body language. Right. So I feel that it's important for coaches and for the coaches that are listening, for the parents that are listening, for the adults that are listening, it's important that we teach the youth and let them know when they are having a bad attitude moment so they can start to feel it. So when it starts to come on, that's when they call time and step out of the box. That's when they hit the reset button, because they can feel it coming on, So I feel, because a lot of times people be like, man, I truly believe that everybody that has a bad attitude, the ones that really want to do well for themselves or for the team, they just might not, they need to know, hey, you're starting to slip. Right. Get it. Hey, you're good. Let's go. That was me giving them a warning that I see that they're sliding down that hill. Right. So if I can catch them at the beginning, and we've already had our talk about not sliding down that hill of bad body language, right. Now they'll be able to suck it up and be like, you're right, coach. I appreciate that. Thank you. Let's go, team. Because I was able to catch them, and they was able to see it and feel it. So I think that that's very important and key to the development in our youth and to everybody, not even just youth, to everybody. Everybody has those moments when you're just not having a good day or something bad just happened. And your accountability partner, whether it's your wife, husband, boyfriend, mom, dad, somebody close, best friend, they're going to come to you and be like, hey, are you okay? And that feeling that you feel right there, hold yourself accountable and just say, you know what? You're right. Thank you. It's time for me to get off the schneid and let's go.
Yes. Amen. Yes. Where's my pom-poms? I feel like I just got a 6-pack abs just listening to you speak right there.
Yeah, man.
I was once listening to a professor speak at Stanford, and she estimated that only 7% of what's coming out of your mouth, especially the first time you meet somebody, is actually what people are taking in. So that means 93% of what people are taking in is all the stuff that you're just talking about, body language, people's perception of you. That is your reality. Mm-hmm. And like you said, you've only got a short window. Like, these people may have a short window of you. They could be complete, whether they're right or wrong, they're right.
Yeah, that's true.
You got 2 hours, or you've got this short little window. You may be the best dude on the planet. You may be the sharpest cat on the planet. You may have the biggest heart on the planet. But if you're perceived to be lazy, then you're lazy, because that's all they know. They don't know any different. Maybe you are just having a bad day, but that was your one shot at having CJ Beatty see you alive or whatever. So yeah, I always preach kind of that same stuff. Just a couple more things, dude. and I'm kicking you out of here. Did you do you have a favorite cartoon growing up?
Yeah, man. My favorite cartoon growing up, and I used to hate going to commercials, man. I was like, dude, they just freaking went to a commercial and they're doing it again. Growing up, my favorite cartoon was Dragon Ball Z, man. Dragon Ball Z with Goku, Vegeta, just everybody. Krillin, Gohan, man, Piccolo, everybody,
Wow.
man. That was it. I mean, it was intense. I love the fight scenes. I love the dialogue, and it was just great. It really brought the competitor out in me. It's so many. I mean, to be honest with you, I could probably use a Dragon Ball Z episode or just the cartoon alone to be able to depict another speaking topic.
Yeah,
Very cool. Talk about, but yeah, that was my favorite cartoon growing up, man.
All right. Have you ever been to a theme party where you have to dress up? Do you have a favorite outfit you've ever had to dress up to at a theme party?
Oh yeah, bro. The 80s. 80s.
That's where it's at.
Party, man. I mean, I think I was born in the wrong era, bro. I was born in the 80s, but I wanted to grow up in the 80s.
Yeah.
I think that and a lot of times when people say that, they base it realistically. Think about it. When people say I grew up in the wrong era, they base it on music or sports.
Yeah.
Primarily music, because they're like, man, that was the time, man, back when I was in my college days and we were listening to so-and-so and we were doing this. But, man, because one of my favorite music artists back in that time was Cameo. Oh, dude, you talking about knowing the words word by word.
Yeah.
Knowing the song word by word, verse by verse, lyric by lyric. That's me, man. So I think going to an 80s party is what I love to do, because what better place to go to get your gear than Goodwill? I'll go to Goodwill, bro. And I'll go in there and I'll find me some whacked out shirt with some whacked out pants. Give me some Chuck Taylors. I might stop by Party City to give me an afro, and I'm good to go, bro.
I see you as a guy wearing some spandex with a little headband. I think you.
I walk up in there, hit him with the.
Yeah. That's right. Cool. Well, hey man, we're gonna wrap this thing up. You got 30 to 45 seconds to talk to our listeners, 5-continent wide, on how they can out improve their previous best self. How can they out improve the previous best self? 30 to 45 seconds.
All right. I think the fastest way to outprove your best self, because you always want to fight for better, is to never settle. Every single day you wake up, you're trying to win the day. If you won yesterday, that means you haven't won today. You got to win today. And you definitely can't win today by doing what you did yesterday. You have to increase and get better. So if you talk to 2 people and felt like you won on Monday, Tuesday, set the bar higher, talk to 3. If you send out text messages on Tuesday, do one better. Take somebody out to lunch on Wednesday. Continue to win the day over and over again. Do something better. Call more people. Help more people. At the end of the day, if you want to live your life to the fullest, it's only measured not in money, but in the amount of people you help.
What? Awesome, buddy. Fantastic. I think I've probably blown out my mic 10 times in 20 minutes here. My abs are going to be sore in the morning. Anyway, dude, really appreciate you joining us, and keep spreading the good word, buddy. Keep adding value. You're amazing. So
thank you.
Yeah, make it a great day, buddy.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, buddy.